Hello. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Thursday night, time for the live stream, bedbug show, all that good stuff. Still doing a little bit of setup. Took me a little while to get online tonight. Hope everybody's doing all right. Not sure how many people are here. So for those of you that don't know, I stream every Thursday night. I've been on YouTube for several years now. Been in pest control all my life. I'm second generation pest control technician. And I try to give people advice, try to help them get rid of their bugs. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to answer any questions. Bed bugs, cockroaches, fleas, termites, moles, anything you got, I'm here to help. So anyway, let's see. We got 5 people here. Don't forget to like if you like the kind of stuff I've got out on the channel. Give me a thumbs up and follow me. So if you go to my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/greenacrespc, and let me show you. This is my YouTube channel. So you want to go over and you hit this little subscribe button right here, and when you do, a little notification bell will pop up, and you want to make sure you hit that bell, because that bell is what ensures that you get notifications when I'm live. Like James Martin, he's in here right now in the live stream, said hello. I said hello, James. He gets the notifications. Whenever people get notified, they know that I'm here, they know I'm online, and you can come in and talk with me and chat with me and whatever you want to do. And so let me get my Skype. The phone number that you see there is actually a Skype phone number that I pay for so that people can call me and talk to me on the phone and ask me any questions that they want, because that's what I'm here for. I like to answer your questions. I like to help anyone that I can with any kind of bug problems they got. Now I don't know everything. Yeah, I'll admit there's some things I don't understand. There's there's a lot of things I don't understand about different bugs and stuff. I'm not just because YouTube worldwide doesn't mean I am. I've been in pest control for over 30 years. I've been licensed since I was 17, which is 23 years licensed, and so actually it'll be 23 years in February that I've been licensed in pest control, and this is January now. And so hey Julie, hello from Alabama, she says. D Jones, give me thumbs up to you too. We have bed bugs and German roaches. So I do have a lot of videos on German roaches and bed bugs. German roaches are really hard to deal with. They're very expensive. One of the things, let me see if I can get my, I want to just make sure that you guys are getting the right microphone. Let me see if I go to settings, properties. Let me just make sure I've got the right mic here. I do. Okay, good. So anyway, with German cockroaches, one of the reasons I don't usually recommend trying to deal with German roaches on your own is because German roaches are extremely expensive to kill. The problem is that roaches develop a resistance to pesticides really quickly. Roaches. So what happens when you treat for cockroaches is that the roaches will, if you have 100 target, like let's say the 100 roaches, 100 is easy to deal with because with percentages it's really easy. So if you have 100 cockroaches, and we're talking German cockroaches, the roaches, and you spray a chemical, and you kill 80% of that 100 roaches. The 20% that don't die, well, maybe they didn't come in contact with your chemical, but let's assume they all came into contact with the chemical. The 20% that don't die, why don't they die? Because they are genetically immune to your pesticide, so you have a resistance. Those roaches pass their genetics on to their offspring, and so they may not pass the gene every time. And so let's say those 20 roaches breed to another 100 roaches. You go and you spray again with the same chemical you used last time, and you may only kill 50%. You may only kill 60%. You may only kill 20%. And you may not kill any at all because of the resistance. And so what you're doing is you're genetically breeding roaches with pesticides by weeding out all of the weaker of the species. And so what you have to do with roaches, the way you combat pesticide resistance and immunity, is you have to rotate your chemical. So let's say I used Alpine, like today, like Alpine WSG. That's typically what I use for cockroach control. I go in and use that, and then I go and I use maybe Demon next month, or Demand, or something like that. That way I'm constantly rotating my chemicals. I'm always using something different on the cockroaches, and so that they don't develop an immunity to the chemical. Also, when you're treating for cockroaches, you want to use more than one thing. You don't want to just go in and spray and say, okay, I'm done. You want to use baits, dusts, and chemicals. And not only that, you want to use like maybe an IGR with your pesticides, so that when you're like something like, let me see, Nigard, Excidar, something like that, you mix it in with your regular pesticide, so that the possibility of them being resistant to one chemical is pretty high. But now you've added an IGR, you've added a bait, and you've added maybe a dust, maybe boric acid or something like that. That's 4 different ingredients that you've added, and now the likeliness that they're immune to 4, well, they're not going to be immune to boric acid at all. Cockroaches can't develop an immunity to that because it kills their digestive tract. They eat it, and it gets in their digestive system and kills them that way. So of those 4 things, at least one of them they're not immune to, like boric acid, and the other 3, it's highly unlikely they're immune to all of them, as long as they don't all have the same active ingredient. So when you look at your labels, make sure that your liquid pesticide is not the same thing as your dust pesticide, is not the same thing as your rodent, your bait pesticide. And so that way they're all different things, so the roaches can't develop an immunity, and you'll get rid of your roaches a lot faster. When I go in and do a roach clean out, I always use 2 or 3 different things. That way I know I'm going to kill the maximum amount of roaches that visit. You will always have your roaches that will hatch. So you've got roaches hatch typically between 20 to 28 days is how long it takes an egg to hatch. An egg casing holds up to 50 baby German roaches. Most of them hold about 30 to 35. And so if you sprayed today and roaches just hatched yesterday, you're not going to have other roaches hatch for another month or so. So you may have to treat again in order to get those hatchers to, that are coming out to die in the chemical too. Because pesticides don't last forever. They typically only last about 30 to 45 days, if you're lucky, for cockroaches. Because as they lose their effectiveness over time, they're gonna get weaker and weaker and weaker, and so they're going to be less likely to kill the German cockroach. Same thing with fleas, same thing with bedbugs. So let's see. I bought enough Crossfire to make 12 gallons. There is no yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot of Crossfire. 12 gallons is too much chemical. And there we go. We got a caller. Let's see. Let's turn that on. All right. Give me just a minute. Can you hear me? This is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Hello? Let me see if I get my mic on here. This is always messed up. All right. That's working. I can hear you. If you want to ask me a question, I will listen to it, and I am trying to get my microphone to work. It always does this every single time. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All righty. You called. This is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control.
Hey, Jason. It's James Martin.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good. So, yeah, I wanted to... I know one time you mentioned bed bugs are common in laundromats.
Oh, yeah.
So is it a good idea to always use high heat?
Actually, the best thing to do if you're going to go to a laundromat to wash your sheets and stuff for your beds or your clothes or something like that, you should always, you typically want to dry them first. The reason this is because the dryer is going to be hotter than the water. You have to figure that even if the water heater is set to like 130 or 135, 140 degrees water temperature, which is really hot. That's really, really hot. If it's set that hot, it still has to travel from the hot water heater to the washing machine. And it's going to lose some of that heat on the way to the washing machine. And not only that, bed bugs float. So they can swim even if you fill the washing machine full of water. You're not going to drown them. You might wash some down the drain, but you're not going to drowned the bed bugs in the washing machine, and more than likely the hot water is not going to be hot enough. It's not going to stay hot enough long enough because of heat transfer. And so you're better off using a dryer, because the dryer has the heat element built into the machine, so it's always hot, 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 hot. And it's going to kill the bed bugs instantly. You won't have to wait for the heat to build in the machine where the water is going to pour in. And of course, like I said, it's going to heat transfer into the side of the washing machine. The washing machine is typically made of metal, and so metal conducts energy, and so it's going to pull the heat out of the water. And so you're better off drying your clothes first, making sure that you kill the bed bugs in your clothes, and then if they, then you can go ahead and wash them, after that. I know that sounds expensive because you're at a laundromat, but that's going to be the best way to kill the bed bugs before, you're going to get better results, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so I use a laundromat just for drying because we have a washer in the apartment already.
Yeah.
So the bed bugs are long gone now, thanks to you. So also I was wondering, when you're out and about, like let's say the movie theater, so after the movie, should you just check your pockets? Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Is that what you would do?
You'll get bed bugs from the movie theater.
Right. Also, in early December, I went to New York City, and I guess the same thing, right? The taxi cab,
taxi
train.
cabs, the metro or the subway, the buses, city buses get them. Actually, I was called by Greyhound not too long ago. Greyhound actually called me, wanted me to come all the way out and treat they had like 6 buses that were infested with bed bugs. And so, and Greyhounds do long distance, that's like a train. And so you get on a Greyhound in New York, you could ride the Greyhound all the way from New York all the way down to Myrtle Beach if you wanted to, because, and you'd be on the same bus for, hours. And that's typical. Or you might get a transfer from one bus to another, maybe halfway through the trip. But either way, you're going to be on a bus with other people that possibly have bed bugs in their luggage just as much as you would. I mean, if you had, let's say you had bed bugs at your house and then you went and took a Greyhound somewhere, you could take them from your house to the Greyhound and infest the Greyhound. So people do it on city transit all the time. A lot of your cities will claim that bed bugs can't live on the buses, especially like school systems. School buses get infested with bugs, bed bugs and stuff. They'll get roaches and stuff will live in the buses and everything. So yeah, I always try to tell people, if you're that concerned and you have to travel, city transit or even a bus or a train or even a plane, any kind of automobile that isn't yours, that you can treat like your luggage. You can put me and my wife, we went on a cruise a couple of years ago, and was pre-COVID, and we went on a cruise and we took our luggage. It was for our anniversary. I can't remember how long ago it was, but we rode the metro from DC to New York City. Not from DC to New York City, but from Falls Church to DC, and then we got into DC. We got on at the Grand Central Station. We took the bus all the way to New York. We got off in New York. Took a what do you call it? The SUVs. They come and pick you up it was like a big SUV. Came and picked us up, the taxi cab, and took us to port. And every single one of those times, our bags are transferred from one vehicle to another vehicle to another vehicle that we never drive in. And so I treated my luggage. I actually treated the luggage bags with Crossfire. And then we were going to get on a cruise ship. Who knows who'd been on the cruise ship? And so we went ahead and I treated the luggage bag just to make sure that if there was transfer from someone else to me, that the bugs wouldn't be able to live on my luggage and come home with me. And that's very effective.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did. Actually, I did spray my luggage when I left for New York. So.
Yep, and you can do
Crossfire.
Yeah, and you can do that. It's actually labeled. They actually recommend on the label itself to treat any luggage. I did a job for a lady. Her son works for, I think he's enlisting with, I think it's either the Marines or the Air Force. I can't remember. And I actually treated his entire bag, his big, the big, huge green bags that they pack when they go and they enlist.
Yeah.
I treated that because they said they have a real bad problem with bed bugs in the in the service, and so when they go to, like I said, the Air Force or the Army or whatever, that he wanted me to treat his bag just to make sure he didn't bring anything back home with him, because he didn't, he's going to be out and deployed, and he didn't want to bring anything back home. He said, please treat my bag so I don't get it in these places I got to go to.
Yeah. Wow. One last question. So I do use Crossfire once a month for a preventative.
Yeah.
Now, since I'm not going to use a B&G, is it a good idea to have a sprayer with a brass wand at the end?
That's probably what I would pick, just because I feel like it would seal better. It just depends on the main thing with these plastic wands. Now, brass bends really easy. I mean, it's not going to bend as easily as plastic, but it's going to bend. I mean, even these, I have to be real careful with the B&Gs, because the wands, if you don't sit them quite right, they'll actually bend. They're very pliable because they're made of brass. And so you want to be real careful with your wand. But the main thing you want to look at when you're buying a sprayer is, how do the O-rings seat? How do your valves seat? Do they leak around the tip? Do they leak around the wand? You want to make sure everything's good and tight, so you don't have any leakage around, your seams and where everything kind of joins together. Because that's the biggest complaint that I get from people that are using these, these cheap plastic sprayers from like Walmart or somewhere like that, is that whenever they screw the tip, it doesn't seal all the way, and so they get a lot of leakage. So they're spraying their furniture and it's dripping all over the floor. That's not good when you're trying to be clean and you're trying not to get pesticide on everything, and it's dripping in the floor. That's something that's, you don't want to do. You don't want to waste the stuff.
No. All right. Yeah. Okay.
And the only way to figure that out is just trial and error. Honestly, I just have not had time. I've got construction going, so we closed on this house in, I think it was 2020. Yeah, 2020, July of 2020, and it's been one project after another, and I just haven't had a chance to do my video. I got my spray tanks here I want to do so I can show people what to look for. I just haven't had a chance to do it. It's a lot when you got babies and and all the stuff I have to do. It's real hard to get together and get everything kind of filmed and put together to show you. They're still in the box, hadn't even been opened.
Yeah, I'm sure it's I'm sure you're busy man.
Well, you got a 12-week-old, and that'll keep you busy enough on top of having to run a business. It's a lot.
Oh, I can't imagine. Jeez.
Plus, I mean, I've got 4 children. My oldest will be 17 next Friday. Rory's birthday's Friday, and then Emma, she'll be 9 in March, and then Charlie just turned 3. So he's a 3-year-old and a 12-month-old. That's enough. I mean, 12-week-old. That's enough work for anybody.
Yeah. Wow. So you come home and you have to run around with the kids.
Always, yeah. That's the best part. Getting home and running around the kids.
Yeah. Hey, if they're healthy, I mean,
that's all that matters.
That's good. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you go. Read more comments.
Right.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, James. You have a good night.
Yeah. You too.
So I did notice a question that was asked in the chat, that someone was talking about a black light. So what a black light does is it will find the eggs. The eggs are white. The black light will fluoresce over the areas that the eggs are. It will also fluoresce the poop, the droppings and stuff. You can find them. You can also find nymph stages of bed bug. It will kind of, black lights like to make things light up. Like, this is, I got some floss right here. See this little floss container? It's bright white. If you shine this under a black light, it will shine bright white. And so the eggs will shine bright white. The bodies will actually fluoresce. Now, the older ones, not so much, because they become like this color, like this dark brown color. But the younger ones will actually light up under a black light. And you'll even be able to find, like last week when I was in here talking about black lights, someone actually said that they shined a black light around after the pest control guy left, and they could actually see where the guy did not spray, because it will make your pesticide fluoresce too. Like Crossfire. Crossfire is a typically a whitish liquid. It's not like really really white like this. It's more like a clear white liquid, but it you can see it under a black light. You can actually see where it's been sprayed. And so a lot of people will do that. They'll take the black light and shine it around to see where the pest control guy, what they missed. But yeah, I do recommend if you're trying to find them and you're having a really hard time finding the bed bugs, you can find them with a black light if you're having issues. Yeah, I also recommend finding someone maybe with a bed bug dog if you're really, really having an issue finding the bed bugs, that a bed bug dog can come in. Now, I don't do anything like that myself, but I do know people who do, that go out and they're able to find bed bugs when they're very few, like maybe just one or two, maybe even just three or four, not very many bed bugs at all, but the dog can trigger on it, and then you know where to treat, and you can treat those spots, like I said, with crossfire or anything, and try to kill those bed bugs. So that's what I usually recommend if you're having a really hard time finding bed bugs. But a lot of people contact me and they say things like, I had bed bugs, and I'm positive I have bed bugs. I got bed bug bites. I treated my house. I'm still getting bit. A lot of times, you actually, if you're not finding actual bugs, don't assume that a bug bite is a bed bug. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a reaction to just laundry detergent. Maybe it's a wrong, dosage of medication that you're on. I actually had one lady one time who had just started a dosage of I think it was Oxy or something like that. One of the codeine based painkillers, and it caused her to break out in a rash. And she thought she was getting bit by bugs, but it ended up being the wrong prescription for her. She couldn't handle the medication that her doctor had prescribed her, and her doctor had to change medications on her. So that happens sometimes. Also, carpet beetles and things where they don't actually bite you, but they shed their hair on their body, and you'll react from the hairs on their body and get rashes and bumps that look just like bed bug bites. So don't assume just because you think you've gotten bit or that you have been bit that it's bed bugs doing it. If you can't find them, assume you don't have them. You can find bed bugs. Bed bugs do, you can find signs of them. Blood spots, look for that, stuff like that on your mattress, on your sheets. Look for blood spots on your pillowcases. A lot of times when you lay like with your pillow like this, your arm will get bites on it, your face, your neck, places like this might get bites, but you'll have blood spots on your pillowcases because when a bed bug bites you, they will actually they bite you. Their saliva has an anticoagulant in the saliva, which will cause your blood to thin. Your blood gets real thin, and you'll bleed little spots on your pillow while you're trying to clot, because your body has to purge that little bit of saliva out so that you can your blood will clot. Do you treat the interior and exterior of luggage? No, I usually just treat the outside. I usually don't treat the inside. I mean, you could theoretically, you could treat the inside of the luggage. I usually don't. I usually just treat the outside, the outside of the bags. I wish I never bought the black light. My carpet looks nice and clean with the naked eye. The black light is horrifying. Oh yeah, you'll see lots of stuff. I'm not going to read some of these comments about black lights in nightclubs and things. Just wanted to let you know I've been bed bug free for 2 years because of you. You're a lifesaver. Well, thank you, Jay. I'm glad to help. I have a question about field mice. If you will or find time to answer, what is the best steps to take, as I have one in my open carport? It's the main thing with mice. Mice are easy to control. I usually just recommend bait stations. You can get yourself a rat station, and you can put it outside. Put some mouse bait. You have to use a bait station. Always use a bait station. I've seen people haphazardly just throw mouse poison. In fact, I've got a video that I did on mice where I went up underneath crawl space, and there was this mouse poison just everywhere, just thrown everywhere under the house. And anybody could have gone under there. I mean, I went under the house. Plumbers, anybody could go under there. It was actually open to the basement. It was a split level, and you could just open the door and walk in. Anybody's kid could have gone underneath the crawl space. It was walk height for a child, easily 4 feet of clearance, and a child could have walked under it, no problem. In fact, I duck walked under the entire crawl space. And so I always recommend use bait stations. They work. Mice will go in a bait station. Rats will go in a bait station. They're very curious animals, and they're always wanting to go inside. I tell people always put it up against the wall so that the animal will go in through the hole, and they'll find it. They'll go in, and that works the best. Put you some rat bait in there, and they'll find it. They'll eat it, and then they'll die, and that'll take care of the mouse on the carport. Now, there's other ways, other techniques some people may advise you to do, but that's what I advise. That's what I would do if it were me. And I just use bait stations. It's real easy. It's simple, and it takes care of your mouse problem. And there's a lot of bait out there nowadays where it's what I would consider to be probably the most humane way to kill mice, because they typically get sick. They go home wherever their nest is. They go to sleep, and then they usually die in a hole in the ground asleep. And honestly, if you want to know, I'm a coward. That's the way I'd go. If I'm going to go, I'm going to go in my sleep. When I always had I had these dreams when I was a kid of like fear of falling and just falling and falling and falling and falling forever. I've always feared that, and I've always been afraid of drowning. I don't really like to swim. Don't like to go in. I mean, I know how to swim. I can swim, but I don't like to because I used to have nightmares as a child where I was, drowning. So I'm a wimp. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go in my sleep, and that's the way to mice. I feel like it's probably the most humane way of ways to deal with mice. That's what I usually recommend. And I'm sorry if I got a little bit of laryngitis. I feel like I'm losing my voice tonight. I've been talking all day long. We've got snow coming Monday, and so I've been trying to get as much work as I can before the weekend done, so that I can plan to be off on Monday if I have to. And so I've been working and talking all day, and so it's waning on my voice tonight. Let's see. When the pest company was treating our apartment, they didn't seem aware that some of the bed bugs were immune to alpine. Yes, some bed bugs are immune to alpine, but that's new. That's something that was just discovered over the last maybe 2 years, maybe 1 year. It hasn't been that known. In fact, I learned, so I get my license renewed every 2 years. The way it works in Virginia is you can bank as many as, I think, 3 years or 3 credits, something like that. I don't know. I've always gotten my license renewed every 2 years. So every 2 years on the odd year, I have to get my license renewed. And so last year in January, I did a online thing where I did where you go online, you basically sit in class all day, and then you get instructed by different people. You have one person was bed bugs, one person was like cockroaches, and just different things people combat in the industry. I think there were moles in one of them, maybe I think it was moles, or maybe wood borers, something like that. And then at the end of the day, you deal with the Virginia Department of Agriculture. They have a person in there that tells you what they're looking for, what type of things that they're going after this year. The things that they've found that the most non-compliance issues, like people breaking label or just basic stuff like that you have to do. And then you get your license renewal, and then you have to pay that. And so this last year, I actually they had let me see. Hold on. Let me put this person. Let me hide this user because they're a bot. But anyway, and just so you know, I'm doing the best I can. I can't keep up with all the bots in chat. I got a lot of bots now that like to come in here and advertise. Just ignore them. If you're reading the chat, just ignore those people. But anyway, so they were talking about what was it? Oh yes, immunity to alpine. And so it's a study that just started being done now at Virginia Tech, and they found that alpine was one that bed bugs were starting to develop an immunity to. I still use alpine sometimes, and I find that it does still work most of the time, but I never use alpine by itself. I always use alpine and crossfire together if I'm going to use alpine, or I just use crossfire. But a lot of people just don't know. Like I said, they'll probably go over that this year. If their renewal wasn't last year, it might be this year, and then they'll go over that same thing with them. So like I said, it's every 2 years. So I'm on schedule for every odd year, and then other guys may be on schedule for every even year. So that's just basically the way that we kind of break things up in Virginia. So everybody's not all together all at the same time needing to get their renewal done. So, just because they didn't know doesn't mean they won't. They'll know eventually. I used to use glue traps for mice. Yeah, I don't use glue traps. I got a video on that. I don't recommend watching it if you're squeamish. Why do so few exterminators treat cars? Okay, so that's a good question. I've always treated cars because I feel like it is effective to an extent. The problem with automobiles is that they fluctuate in temperature so badly. So in the winter, they'll be really, really, really cold. All right. I mean, if it's, let's say, 20 degrees outside Fahrenheit, yeah, it's like, what is that? Like 15 or 10 degree, negative 10, negative 15 Celsius. If the car is parked outside, that's really bad on the chemical residue. Chemicals are only good to a certain degree of heat and a certain degree of cold. Once it gets too cold, the pesticide won't work anymore, and once it gets too hot, the pesticide won't work anymore. Now, if you keep a car in a garage, you can treat the car just like you would a bedroom, and it's going to kill the bugs in the car. The pesticide is going to last the longest if it's kept under cover. If it's outside in the weather, you're not going to get as long of a residual in a car during the winter or the summer months. You're going to get better residual in the fall and in the spring when the weather is not so volatile, when you don't have such huge spikes in upwards or lower temperatures. And so that's why a lot of people just don't treat cars. They feel like it may be a waste of time or money or effort because the automobile will, like I said, the chemical won't last as long in a car. But I feel like the bugs aren't going to last as long in the car either. They're not going to want to be in the car. They're going to want to transport on you. And so it doesn't hurt to just do it. And that way, if you do take bugs from your house that are trying to get out of the chemical, like if it's a roach or if it's bed bugs or something like that, and they do happen to crawl up on you and you take them to your car, they're going to die when they get in the car and they're not going to survive, and you're not going to take them with you to other places. So that's why I treat automobiles, or a lot of people don't. It's not that it's illegal. It's not illegal. It's just that people don't do it because they feel like it doesn't last as long. It's not as effective of a treatment. And I don't think it's as effective of a treatment as treating a house, but something is better than nothing at all. Even if it lasts for a few days, it's better than not doing it at all. And what is it? We're talking pennies. We're not talking, the time it takes to treat a car is like, 3 or 4 minutes. It doesn't take that long. It's a small little thing. You can't treat everywhere. You just treat the places you can treat and you're done. And then, but one of the reasons not to treat a car is if you have to leave in the car. So the rules on regulations on pesticides is it specifically states on the pesticide that you don't want to treat an area where people are present. You want to allow the people to leave the area, treat the area, and then have the people come back when it's dry. If I'm treating your house for bed bugs and then you're having to leave in your car, well, you're not leaving. You can't leave in a treated vehicle until it's dry. And it may take a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour for it to dry. And so what do? Do you go inside? Do you come outside? Well, you can't do either. Well, you just sit on the porch until it dries. And so that's another reason that exterminators don't treat automobiles. But it's not illegal. Caveman says it's illegal in Canada. It's not illegal here to treat cars at all. Unless he's talking about glue traps. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going on 1 year free of bed bugs. Thank goodness, found one of your old videos. Oh yeah, YouTube likes people to resubmit old videos. Basically rehash the same stuff I've said over and over. So I just had a video. I'll show you. This is my YouTube channel here. I had a video that went live. Bed bug solution. This video right here. All right. The best way to eliminate bed bugs in 2022. I made that video 9 days ago. It was released 9 days ago. All right. I have another video that's how to kill bed bugs in 2021. And so what YouTube likes you to do is they like you to submit the same stuff every single year. So in pest control, unless the chemicals change, the application really doesn't change. I mean, if the labels change and it says, well, you can no longer treat here or you can no longer treat there but per the label, that changes. The way you treat changes. But if none of that changes, I don't really make a new video. I'm not here to try to, be this famous YouTube exterminator guy. I'm just got information for people to find if they need it. And so my old videos, like let's go back here and let's show you. So my number one video is still the one that's probably viewed the most, and it's my very first video I ever did. It's why heat treatments don't work on bed bugs. This is still valid today. These are my most popular videos. This one is still valid today. Why you should never use diatomaceous earth for the control of bed bugs. That's my second video. That was put up 4 years ago. This is still valid information. This, how to eliminate German cockroaches yourself. That's valid information. All of these are still valid videos with good information on them. And I feel like when I go and I make these videos and then I just re-say the same thing I've already said 100 times, I don't want you guys to get sick and tired of hearing my BS, thinking I'm just saying the same thing over and over. So if you ever see a video that's got the same stuff on it that I said, last year, the year before, or even 6 years ago, understand that that's because YouTube wants me to do that. And that's also for the newer people that are coming on. I mean, I've got back, 4 years ago on New Year's, 4 years ago, New Year's Day, I was just reaching 1,000 subscribers. Now I'm at like almost 20,000 subscribers. So there's a lot more people. There's like 19,000 more people here that weren't here, 4 or 5 years ago. And so those people may not have seen those old videos like that. And so that's why I make a lot of the newer content is like basically rehashed old content into new videos. So, and I've gotten better at video editing too. I got better software than I used to have. That's just me sitting in my car. I mean, when you go here and you look at this video right here, that's me sitting in my Kia talking about bed bugs. And it's no editing, nothing, just raw. That's it. It's just that video. That's it. That's a one take. I think it's like a 12-minute long video. So anyway, it's all still valid today. And then of course my live streams, these are my live streams right here. You can go and watch all my old live streams. You got, let's see, and that's the bottom of the list. That's all I have on my main page. And at the bottom I've got my playlists, and see, you could look at all the playlists I've got that I've made. But then I actually recommend that you go to the videos right here, and this is where all of my videos are. You can see the most recent videos I've got. There's the live stream from tonight. That's what I'm doing right now. And here's why do gross people have bugs. That's the one that just released Tuesday this week. And then there's a TikTok I did that morning, which I also put on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. I've got another video live stream. There's my live stream from last week, and then the video from last week. And then sometimes I skip a live stream if I'm really busy because, like I said, I'm busy. Like I said earlier tonight. Do you know why Crossfire is not allowed to be used in New York, yet it is allowed to be used in all the other states? Mainly because New York has stupid laws that I don't understand. The reason, I could tell you why it's not used in European countries. The reason that Crossfire is not allowed in European countries is because it's a neonicotinoid, which is a family of pesticides that is highly toxic to bees, and they're worried that it will cause colony collapse disorder of the European honeybee. Now, the European honeybee is not native to North America. It was actually imported here through colonization of North America. So it won't hurt the North American. I mean, yeah, if we kill a few honeybees, it's not a big deal because they were imported here from from Europe anyway, and so we don't have to have them to survive in North America. So if neonics, kill a few honeybees here, it's not a big deal. But over in Europe, it is. Honeybees are a major pollinator in Europe. And so that's one of the reasons a lot of your European nations don't allow the use of neonics. And Crossfire is a neonicotinoid, along with Alpine. Alpine is also a neonicotinoid. You probably can't buy that one either overseas. New York, I don't know, because they're weird. And they have weird laws, and I think they're in competition with California to see who can make the most restrictive pest control law. Like California outlawing certain rodenticides altogether. It's kind of crazy, and it's like, oh, well, the bubonic plague still exists. There's a reason we kill rats. There's a reason we don't want rats and mice living in our house, because the hantavirus is there. the bubonic plague is there. There's lots of diseases that rats and mice carry, and yet California outlawed rodenticide because, hey, a bird might die. But hey, we can't kill. We can kill people. We can let the people die from mice and rats. That's fine. But hey, we can't have an owl die. That's their reasoning. Anyway, there's my soapbox for the night. If you could tell the way I think about that. Does freezing of weather affect bedbugs breeding? Not really. Not really. What's a good pesticide to use since crossfire is banned in New York? It's not completely banned. Pest control guys can get it. It's just restricted use. So basically, it's what they call a RUP, which is a restricted use pesticide, which means that pest control applicators can buy it, but people can't. And so I've got a video. Let me see if I can find it. It is one of my most recent ones. Where is it? It's up here. I'm looking. I'm trying to find it. I'm going to share it with you. It's a video. Oh, let me search. So let's search together. Let me show you how you can do this. So if you get in your videos, and I've got a lot of them, and you're having problems finding what you want, if you go here and you search right here, let's search. I know what I typed in the video. I called it Repellent. Let's see. I'm not finding it anywhere. Oh, there we go. Walmart spray for bed bugs. Can it work? And it's how to make repellents work on bed bugs. So this video right here, if I click it and then pause it because I don't want to hear it, and then click share and then copy the link and then paste it in chat. There you go. That video right there is about how to control bed bugs with repellent pesticides, because most pesticides that you buy, other than like neonics, are considered highly repellent to bed bugs. And so that's the video I would recommend you go and watch that if you're having problems getting crossfire where you live. I found your videos from looking up info about heat treatments. Yeah, that's where people find me a lot. Let's see. Do I need to wash and dry all of my clothes? No. Had heat treatment last week. Bought crossfire just in case. Put it down yesterday. Finding bites on my arms. Unsure if I'm having delayed reaction. You can have a delayed reaction, but you can also get bit up to a month after you've sprayed crossfire because of eggs. So the eggs have to hatch. The bed bugs have to come out. They have to find you. They have to bite you. And they don't all come out right away. And so because crossfire is a non-repellent, they don't know it's there. They behave like they normally would, and if they bit you today, they may not bite you for 3 or 4 more days, and so you may get bit for several weeks until all the bed bugs die. So that's normal. That's completely normal. The heat one is the one I saw, Jason, then started to watch all the videos. Thank you so much for the great info. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I just had a heat treatment, and they had it to about 150 degrees for 6 hours, and I was still getting bit. Yep, that happens all the time. Let's see. It's not instant. No, you have to wait. Yep, that's right. Caveman says it's not instant. You have to be the bait for about a month. And that's exactly the way that crossfire works. See, this is the thing that makes people probably the most uneasy about using crossfire, is that the bed bugs don't know the chemicals there. So you are baiting the bed bugs out. Some people will say, well, I have bed bugs and they're biting my daughter in her bed and she does not want to sleep in her bed. What do I do? And I usually tell them, sleep in the bed yourself. Or, convince her to lay in her bed, because the bed bugs won't come out if there's not a meal to eat. They can lay dormant for up to 18 months, 10 to 18 months with no blood meal at all. They can sit there. You will not starve them. And so they will just wait until there is a blood meal nearby. Or they might wander into another room and try to find you in your living room or in your bedroom. And so you really do need to use the furniture that you've treated with Crossfire. Now, yeah, that's the best option. That's what I recommend. It's the cheapest, it's the most affordable, it's the most effective way to get rid of bed bugs because you're not changing their habits in any way. Now, I've used repellents, like that video I just posted about Walmart spray. I have used repellent pesticides to kill bed bugs. Before Crossfire, that's pretty much all there were repellent pesticides. You can kill bed bugs with repellents, but it's going to be a lot more labor intensive. You're going to do a lot more work. You're going to have to treat a lot more often. You may have to treat once every other week, and you're going to have to treat every crack, every crevice, everything possible in order to try to keep the bed bugs away from you until they starve. And you're going to have to do that every single month. Now, they will eventually get so hungry that they are willing to crawl through a repellent pesticide to get to you. You're still the bait. You're still going to be the person that's drawing them out, but they're going to have to crawl through that chemical to die, and they'll just get so hungry that eventually they will crawl through it, they will die. But that's what I go over in that video about repellent pesticides, how to get them to work, is you just have to treat all the time. You have to do your bed bug treatment like 2-3 times a month, all the time, stay on top of it, and eventually you will get rid of them, but it may be months down the road because they can go for so long without a blood meal. So you can get rid of bed bugs on your own, but anyway. Hope I was understood, but I had an exterminator tell me you can't see bed bugs. They lied to you. They lied to you. Lie. That's a lie. That is not true. Do you want to see bed bugs? Do you want to see what bed bugs look like? Let me show you what bed bugs look like. This is my bed bug cabinet. See? Ooh. That's where I keep my friends. All right? Those are bed bugs. See that? Those are bed bugs. You can see that, right? That's my hand. They're not big. They're not real big, but those are bed bugs. Now, I got eggs too. I got eggs. Oh man, my camera. There we go. I've got eggs. Let me see. Do I have eggs in here? I think I might have eggs in here. Got some poop in here. A little bit of poop. These are dead. These have been dead for a while. But I've had live. They used to be alive. People who've watched me for a couple years know that I am not afraid to keep live bed bugs. Now my wife, right there, she doesn't like when I keep live bed bugs. But sometimes I have live ones on my live streams. If I think about it, the next time I'm on a real bad bed bug job, I see about bringing some home and showing them to you. But the eggs might have all hatched out by now. But yeah, they're all visible.
Every life stage is visible.
Every single stage, every stage of bed bug is visible. The eggs, the babies, the nymphs, the full-grown adults, they are absolutely visible with the naked eye. You can see every single stage. If you cannot see bed bugs, you might need to check with your prescription because your eyeglasses need to be replaced because they're not working very well for you. So you need to get to the eye doctor. But you can see every stage. And I don't have the best eyesight, but I can absolutely see every stage of bed bugs. I've got Crossfire now. Actually, the bed bug eggs, just to give you an idea in the size, they are about 1/3 of a grain of rice. So if you can see a grain of rice that hasn't been cooked, cut into thirds, that's the size of a bed bug egg. That's how big they are. And they usually lay them in clusters of like 3 to 5. Is typically the way you find them. It's usually like a little cluster of those little eggs. And they look like small little miniature Tic Tacs. They're ovals. They're not circle. They're not, round. They're ovals. I've got Crossfire now. I haven't been able to find any signs at all of bed bugs. None on the mattress, blankets, or sheets, even before the heat treatment. And you may not have had bed bugs. Are you sure you had bed bugs? Exterminators will sell you a bed bug treatment even if you don't have them. I mean, it's money to them. They don't care. Don't use encasements if you have active infestation. That's true. That's good advice. Still getting bit, but cannot find or see any bed bugs. Crossfire can't be shipped to New York, just ordered on Amazon. Let's see. Amazon won't ship to New York either. Yes, they will. I already ordered for an elderly person. So so-and-so said they got it to New York. Someone said they actually had it shipped to New Jersey. But I'm not supposed to be advising people to break the law. So don't break the law. I affirm. Or whatever. Isn't it I affirm? Isn't that the word you're supposed to use, Alicia?
I have no idea.
Said tell people don't break the law. Don't be going to jail. I ain't gonna bail you out. Ain't got that kind of money to be bailing everybody out because they're going and getting Crossfire shipped over. They'd probably just take it from you in customs or something, but they ain't got customs, I don't think, between New York and New Jersey or somewhere.
I don't think it's that strict. I think some people can get it on Amazon in New York.
I've had people that have ordered it through eBay and got it shipped to Canada. So, you know, in Canadian government, it's outlawed in Canada. Now, there have been issues where it gets caught up in customs, and then you don't get it. They keep it. They don't give it to you. But I've had people say they've gotten it in Canada. But I'm not here to try to tell people to break the law. I'm just here to tell people what I do. This is what I do in my business. It's what I do to kill bed bugs. Now, what you do may be different, but what I do is I use Crossfire. That's how I kill bed bugs. It's easy to kill bed bugs with Crossfire. But anyway. Someone asked if Tandem is still effective or if the bugs are resistant. Now, I don't know. Some bugs die from pesticides that people still use that have had a... The thing about pesticide resistance or immunity that you have to understand is that not all bugs are immune to the same chemicals. I've been able to go in on a German cockroach job and spray a pesticide that in another home the roaches were immune to, but in this home they weren't. So just because I'm noticing where I'm treating to have an immunity issue with the bugs doesn't mean it's that way everywhere. It just means the geographical location where I am located, I'm having more of a problem dealing with these issues. But that doesn't mean you will where you live. It's not the same.
That happened with bed bugs, like when we were using chemicals before Crossfire, that
we were able to kill them.
Certain parts of the country that were having immunities, but weren't experiencing those. Right.
And y'all let me know if you can't hear my wife. She chimes in every now and then. So if you can't hear her, you let me know. So, let's see. What is tandem insecticide? Let's see. Let's see if we can do this. Let's share this. All right. So this is tandem. Oh, let's see. Current EPA approved label. Let's read that. I don't know what that is. I don't use that. It might be a neonic because it says it's extra. Now, see, this is what I was saying earlier. If you read the labels of some of these pesticides, it actually has this part of the label right here. All right. And this is because of bees. It says right on here, application restrictions exist for this product because of the risk to bees and other insect pollinators. So not just bees, we're talking butterflies and mosquitoes and stuff like that too. Follow application restrictions found in the directions for use of this product for pollinators. Look for the bee hazard icon in the directions of use for each application. So this is probably a neonic because this is like on all the neonic pesticides now. Do not apply tandem while bees are foraging. Do not apply tandem to plants that are flowering. Only apply after all flower petals have fallen off. So you're not attracting bees. Basically, you're not killing honeybees and stuff. All right. And let's see. If we go down to... But if you're treating for bed bugs, you're not going to be treating around honeybees anyway. Bed bugs aren't on this label. Anyway. You got ants, beetles, box elder bugs, carpenter bees, cockroaches. You know, there's no... Oh, there we go. Bed bugs. Here we go. There's a bed bug label right there. They want you to mix it at a 0.13%, which is a 1.1 fluid ounces of tandem per gallon of water. But like I said, I don't know. I don't use it. If it is a neonic, let's say efficacy of this product is not affected by heat treatments, so applications can be made before and after heat treatments in integrated bed bug elimination programs. Apply a 0.13% dilution as a spot crack crevice void treatment to harborage areas. Example, harborage includes voids behind attached non-upholstered headboards, bed frames, wood and metal only, baseboards, moldings, door frames, window frames, shelving. Okay, it says, do not use on bed linens, mattresses. All right, that's a problem. You can't treat a mattress with it, or other areas where human contact is common. All right, that's a problem with that label. I would not use this. I would not use this for bed bugs, and the reason I would not use this for bed bugs is because you can't treat a mattress. And a lot of times bed bugs live on a mattress. So I would not use it. Period. I just wouldn't. Let's see. I have seen bed bugs walk around glue traps. I guess that's just dumb ones that get caught. Jason, I'm offering $1,000 if you will come to New York for a job. That is not worth losing my license over. I am sorry. I'd like nothing better than to see them go extinct. I said, I bought a 140,000 BTU forced air kerosene heater for $380. You can tarp off a doorway, archway, isolate the back half of the heater. So that is going to burn your house down. I don't recommend doing that. Don't do a heat treatment yourself. Hire somebody if you're going to get a heat treatment done. Because at least then, if you damage your house, they have to pay for it. Don't do a heat treatment on your own. That's just stupid. That's just asking for trouble. It really is. Don't ever do that. That's not advised. Ever. So. Let's see. Is it possible that bed bugs infest pests as well? No, they don't. They can bite the dog, they'll bite a cat, but they can't live on them. If I tell you all the things they tell, let's see. So if they get hit with poison and molt right away, does that help them to survive the treatment too? No, it doesn't. Somebody sent me a text. Oh yeah, I got your text message. I got your text message. And pull out my phone. I'll read it. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking for it. Had an advertisement on my phone and I was reading it. Let's see. I have a lot of text messages. Looking. I think I replied. Did I reply? I think I replied. Let's see. I usually do. Oh, there we go. I found the problem on Halloween, and by January 1st, I had it under control. Now I had a mild case, but still, they went back to their bed bug club and transferred the agent. Thanks you again, Jason, so much. See, I got it. I got your message. Got my phone. I got it. I read it. I got it. I don't always reply because sometimes I got to sleep. So that's why I didn't reply right away. But I got it. How many treatments are needed to get rid of little black ants in the house? How long does it take for professional treatment to work? It depends on what product they use. I use Alpine to deal with ants, and Samari also works well. It works a little slower, but it works really well. Usually it depends on the ants. You know, if you've got a nest of ants in the house, it could take up to 6 months. If you've got a nest of ants living outside, if you find the nest outside, you can get rid of them sometimes 1 or 2 treatments. That's all you need. It just depends. It really just depends. Ants are different. Ants are very unique because sometimes you'll have a nest living in the house. Sometimes you'll have a nest living outside the house. Sometimes you'll have a nest living on someone else's property, and you can't you can't go onto someone else's property and spray for ants. You have to get their permission, and sometimes they don't want you to. And so there's a whole thing with ants. I've actually found ants traveling as far as 3 acres just to get in somebody's house before. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Can I help you? Hello? Can you hear me? Call back. I couldn't hear you. Aren't ants a sign of a problem with the house, like a plumbing break? Not always. Sometimes they're just looking for something to eat or drink. Now, springtails, if you have springtails, usually springtails are a sign that you have a plumbing problem or a leak, maybe a leak in the roof, because they're actually attracted to the moisture, mold. They feed on mold and mildew and stuff like that. So if you've got springtails, that's usually a sign you actually have a water leak. Let's see, I was talking about bed bugs. They can get into smartphones and tablets. Oh, yes, that's true. They can get, bed bugs can get into smartphones, tablets. I actually have some TikToks where people were finding bed bugs in their personal belongings. That's pretty crazy. A laptop, someone was sleeping with a laptop. I noticed this the other day. I have a customer of mine who has been working from home, and he sits in the bed on his laptop and does his work from home in the bed. He answers his phone call. He's got like one of those old headsets that he wears, so he's able to answer the phone. He does all of his Zoom meetings and everything right there from his bed. And if you're in your bed, you can get bed bugs in your belongings in the bed. In fact, I have a video. Let's go to my YouTube channel real quick. I'll show you. If you go here and you go to, let's search just bed bugs. And then you scroll down to this playlist right here, bedbug informational videos. There they are. That's a book. All right, that's a book right there. Let's see, let's see what it sounds like.
Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers with Green Acres Pest Control again.
Yeah, that's all I say. But yeah, see, that's in the binding of a book. So what it was is the lady was actually sleeping. This is a little devotional Bible of like, not devotional. What do they call it when it's just, hey, Leisha, what do they call it when people have a Bible in their bed, but it just has like quotes from Jesus? What's that? Is that like
I think it is
a devotional Bible? Yeah. It's just like quotes from Jesus and what he said, and that's all it is. But she slept with it, and she said at night when she had problems sleeping, she would read some of the quotes out of this Bible, and you look at it, it's got bed bugs living in it. Is living in it. So, and this is all their little poops. So just to show you that you can see, I mean, this is just with an old smartphone, like this is a real old camera. Like this here, this phone I've had for a few years, but it's not as old as the camera that took that video. So, anyway, yes. All right, let's take this call. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Can you hear me now?
Hey, this is Russ.
Hello. Yes, I can. How are you?
We're good. I'm doing good, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
All right. So do you mind if I ask you a couple questions about our bed bug issue?
Yeah, go ahead. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So about a year ago, we moved to our new apartment from a different state. We decided that it's likely bed bugs around December of last year. We first noticed bites around April 1st. We haven't been able to find signs of bed bugs, right? And as you showed earlier in the stream, they're pretty visible, right? And that's what we were finding online.
Right.
Now, the apartment's exterminator came in, and he kind of glanced around the bedroom, right? And was like, yeah, I guess that could be bed bugs. Look, there's mulch or some such here. But we haven't been able to find the bed bugs or their eggs, right?
Yeah.
Or them crawling around, and we've torn up the mattress, put up against the wall, looked at it. It's a brand new mattress, right? We just picked it up. They had us toss the box spring when they did the heat treatment. They heat treated it to about 150 they said, to make sure everything was gone. They put 2 heaters in the bedroom. They tossed the box spring. They said they treated with crossfire. We asked them beforehand, hey, are you guys going to treat with crossfire? They said yes. This was about a week ago. The wife is still getting bit up. And much like your wife, my wife does not like bed bugs, if you can imagine, right?
I don't know anybody that really likes them. I hate them. And they make me some money, but I hate them.
Yeah, right, of course. So would we be seeing signs of them if they had been there for like 10 months to a year? Like visible signs?
Yeah, you would absolutely have visible signs. So if you had bed bugs, normally they can go unnoticed for typically up to 6 months. Usually people notice them at about the 3-month mark because they're very slow to reproduce. It takes a bed bug egg from the day it's laid until the day it can lay eggs itself, usually 45 to 60 days. That's a long time. So the problem is that if you're not seeing at least droppings, they can hide down around your baseboards. There are other places they can hide that has nothing to do with, in the room at all. They don't have to be on the bed. They don't have to be on the headboard or the footboard. They can be down behind your baseboards. That's not normal. Usually they'll at least be on the base, on the box spring, because it's hollow. And so it's an easy place for them to go in and kind of lay eggs and hang out there. But normally, I mean, especially after almost a year, you're gonna find signs of bed bugs.
Okay.
I
now
don't think
some
you
of the
have them.
bites. Okay.
If you want me to,
Can I
my
go over a
honest
few more
opinion,
things
I
with
haven't even been to your house, and I don't think you have them.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen signs after 10 months.
Okay. Some of the bites welt, some rash, some just stay small.
Right.
Our aunt who came over, I want to say January, February, March, around March, April, around that time. Well, the wife is still getting bit up. She stayed in the spare bedroom, didn't get bit, hasn't noticed any signs of infestation at her place, right?
Right.
We checked the seams on the mattress, trim along the floor of the bedroom, starting to get bit up around the couch now. Now we have 2 cats. They're relatively clean. We keep a relatively clean home. And we moved into this apartment. We were getting bit up when we were sleeping on the air mattress after about 12 days or so. 12 days, 2 weeks, give or take.
How long have you been living in this place? A year?
About a year, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Well, carpet beetles are a problem. Fleas are a problem. There's lots of things that could be biting you. I mean, carpet beetles don't bite people. It's the larva stage. Right. They have those hairs that make people break out. And my wife breaks out horrible. They don't bother me at all. But we had carpet beetles in my house. I thought I had brought back bed bugs with me from a job that I had done because she had bites up and down her arms. She had them on her thigh, like her the outside. Mm-hmm. She had them on her just all over her. What happened was some way I found them. I can't remember why. Oh, I know what it was. I was moving the bedroom furniture around, and I had pulled the drawer out of the dresser, and she's got these woolen sweaters that she keeps inside her dresser. They're really nice sweaters. And when I pulled them out, one of them like fell on the floor, and there were carpet beetles in the woolen sweater because carpet beetles will eat wool. And there was evidently the beetle had gone down in the sweaters and laid the eggs, and the larvae were all inside her sweater drawer. And so that's how. And then when I flipped the mattress upside down and the box spring upside down, I actually found the carpet beetle casings on the bottom of the box spring, and so I knew that's what it was. Oh, wow. But that doesn't mean that's what's bothering her. If you're living in a place with pet-friendly apartments, it's likely. I mean, you can be getting bit outside, and I'll notice it like every day, be getting new bites every day because you're walking back and forth from inside to outside. And if people are walking their dogs or they have cats and the fleas are transferring from them to outside, you'll get bit too. I see that all the time. That's actually really common with pet-friendly apartments.
Right. So we have no dressers yet because we were worried about the bugs, right? So we just now got like small plastic things to store our air sealed clothes in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really trying to take the precautions. We haven't been noticing like holes in the clothes or any carpet beetles on the floor, right? We vacuum regularly. Um, yeah, I would think, like you said, we'd see signs by now, right?
Well, usually with mites, like the only other thing I could think of that you wouldn't see would be like bird mites or, um, uh, let me think, pigeon mites, poultry mites, things like that. Because if you're in an apartment,
Okay.
if the building has problems with birds, but usually people don't break out from those. You know, you get annoyed, like you
Right.
get itchy and you'll scratch, but you
Yeah.
don't see those. You don't see the mites. They just kind of, it's almost like being in insulation. They make you all itchy all over. But and
Right.
you can get rid of those. You know, that's not something you can't get rid of on your own. It's pretty easy, and in fact, what they've already done should have killed those. Unless there's just a
Right.
continual problem, like if you've got birds roosting right outside your window, you know you're going to have mites coming in the apartment, and you're not going to see them. But I mean, I guess if she just reacts weird to the bites, that's possible. But I've never seen it before, and not in 30 some years. I've never seen people actually react from the mites biting them. I've heard of people, but I've never actually witnessed it myself.
Hmm. And she's getting bit, 2 or 3 times, and it's always in like groups of 2 or 3, either in a line. And it just looks like little mosquito bites, right? They look so similar to bedbug bites.
Yeah, and
So
it might be if you're in an
that's
apartment, it could be a neighbor causing the problem. And
And they checked on that too.
and they didn't find anything. But did they find
Yeah.
anything at all in your apartment, or they just treated it just for your peace of mind?
So the first inspector, because we had 3 in total come by, the superintendent of the pest control, right? The first guy came by. He was very cordial. He kind of checked around. He didn't get like super close, down on his knees checking stuff. But he was like, "Hey, I see something down here by the box spring, if I remember right." After lifting the mattress, and he didn't point it out to us, like for us to see real close. He's just like, "Hey, I see signs here." And since then, the superintendent came by the second time and laid traps. He couldn't believe that after heat treatment and crossfire application that they would still be alive, biting her the night after.
Well, now crossfire takes weeks to kill all the bed bugs, and if they're hidden down in the wall and the insulation, the heat treatment will not kill them.
Okay.
Because
And they hit the outlets with some sort of powder too.
well, see, that's why I don't trust heat. That's why I don't do heat, is because I go behind failed heat
Right.
treatments all the time. It's something I see really
Yeah.
now, it's not as common as it used to be. Like that video I made like almost 6 years ago about why heat treatments don't work on bed bugs. That's back when heat was all they did. They didn't do a crossfire residual. They didn't do any residual. They just come in and just run heaters, and that's all they did, and they expected that to do it. And then, of course, 3 or 4 days later, you get eaten alive because it doesn't actually kill the bed bugs. There's no residue. And so they started applying a residue too. In fact, if you go back through and you read the comments, because that's one of my videos, an old video that all my comments are allowed. And so you can go through and you can tell how newer and newer the comments get, that the more and more exterminators are coming on there and saying, "Oh, he's lying. We do a chemical residue too," and stuff like that. But it's like that's what they started doing because they realized heat alone does not work. It does not work. It's better to do but if you're gonna do a pesticide residual, you might as well just do that and save people the money and not do the heat at all, because heat is really expensive, not just for you, but for the exterminator. For everyone involved, it's really expensive. It's a big headache. You have to throw away furniture. You have to get rid of stuff. And it's easier to just go in and treat with crossfire and kill them that way, because if you treat the mattress and box spring, headboard, footboard, bed rails, the places you're going to be, the sofa should have been treated. If they didn't treat the sofa, they didn't do their job. And so that's why crossfire says that on the label. It specifically says on the label to pay attention to zippers and seams and things on your sofa. You're supposed to treat those spots, because if you don't, you won't be effective. Because
and we absolutely picked up the crossfire from your link, and we think we might end up doing that next for the sofa at least.
That will kill the bed bugs, and it will do a better job than anything I've ever used. I've used lots of chemicals. I've used Talstar. I've used Dursban back when Dursban was legal, back in early, like late 99, 90, back then in the late 90s and the early 2000s. I've used lots of chemicals for the control of bed bugs. Nothing has quite worked like Crossfire. Crossfire is just, like I said, the only reason I say anything about Crossfire is because I use it myself. When I first started talking about Crossfire on my channel, now I've got Amazon. I got an Amazon page. I got Amazon links. I promoted it before I even got paid through Amazon. I get like affiliate links. If people click it, I think I get like 3%. But it's like pennies, really, compared to the price of Crossfire. I don't make anything. So, because you can go...
And you believe in the product so much, you're like, hey,
well,
guys, I use
it all the time. In fact, I did a TikTok video last night. It's so embarrassing and cringe. It's horrible. But I sang that song. I did a lip sync to the wedding singer Adam Sandler, talking about "You Mean So Much to Me" or something like that. And I kiss a bottle of Crossfire. And so I don't actually kiss it, but that's the whole joke. Is that But I like it. It's good. It's good. But when I'm going and I'm doing jobs and I'm doing bed bug work, and I'm not getting callbacks. The thing is like last year. In 2021, I did 3 callbacks over the whole year for Crossfire. That was it. That's the whole year.
Oh, wow.
I do a lot of bedbug work, and I did 3 callbacks for Crossfire. And in each one of those instances, it was because they were reinfesting with it. And I feel like it's such a good chemical that even people that don't have the proper training can use it and get rid of their bug problem. That's why I promote it. That's why I talk about it. Because I think it works. I know it works. I know it works. I use it.
Right. Now, we're about to move apartments here in March. Our lease is up. We're moving to different apartments, and 100% certainty if we treat with Crossfire accurately, how the label and your videos describe, we should be able to keep our bed and sofa.
Yeah. I mean, I never tell people. I go into heavily infested homes. And I don't advise people to throw away the mattress or the box spring until I come in the second time. If I go in a second time and I see that they're still there and they're still infesting so horribly that they're just so bad, I might recommend. But usually in those instances, people aren't even sleeping in the bed. At that point, they've moved to a different room and they're not even using their bedroom. And I'm like, if you're not going to use the room and you're not going to draw them out, you might as well throw it away. And that's what I usually tell people. But I try to save people money. In my own business and even on YouTube and everything, I try to just give people advice that saves them money. I don't want people to waste their money.
And we got to be the bait.
Yeah, that's the suck part. That's the awful part.
That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do to get rid of them.
I brought bed bugs home. So I brought them home for the first time in over 20 years of dealing with bed bugs. My first bed bug job was when I was 17. I'm 40. So that's 23 years.
Oh, wow.
I brought back bed bugs right before my youngest was born. He's 12 weeks old. All right, so this is recent. It's very recent, within the last 4 months. It was maybe 5 months ago. I brought bed bugs home. And from a job, it's the only job where they had bed bugs, but they weren't bad. And I just figured I didn't bring any home. And it was my wife was going through early labor, and I was concerned for her, so we got home. I stripped out of my uniform and everything. I didn't come in the basement. I didn't put everything in the wash like I usually do. And I just went straight into the bedroom. We changed. We left. We left out of the house. And when we came back, like 2 or 3 days later, my wife was looking at the pillow and she's like, "Jason, what's this?" And it was a bed bug that was on the pillow. And so we had to strip everything off of all the beds. I had to treat the mattresses and the box springs, and I was doing laundry for a week. It was miserable. I know what it's like. I've been there, just like everybody here that's been there. I've been there, and I haven't had any bed bugs since. It's been 5 months, so I know it works because I've used it on my own house.
Okay.
So
awesome. Well, thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate it. God bless you and the little ones and the wifey.
Thank you very much. You have a good
night. Have a good day, sir.
Bye.
Later.
All right, so I had to get rid of one of my favorite books because they were living in it. Let's see. You may have fleas if you can't see the bed bugs, because you can definitely see them walking around. Place something white on your bed. Watch for little black spots moving around. Yeah, I agree with that. You ever use Termidor for bed bugs with an IGR? No, I've never used Termidor for bed bugs. That's stupid. I'm very off the cuff. I'm very candid. if I see a comment that I think is stupid, I use words like stupid, idiotic, moronic. Those are words I use. It's harsh. I know. Sometimes people need to hear the harsh facts. It's stupid. Don't
Why
use
is
Termidor for bed bugs.
Is it even labeled for that?
No, it's not labeled for bed bugs. It's termiticide. It's for termites, carpenter ants. That's it. That's all you're supposed to use it on. I would never use Termidor on my bed. That's stupid. But people do stupid stuff. They use bleach and all kinds of crazy things for bugs, and they think because, oh, it's bleach, it'll kill bugs. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not a good idea to do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your house. I had a guy call me from New York. I tell you this all the time. Like every 2 or 3 live streams, I talk about this guy from New York that sprayed his whole body with pesticides because, well, he was using it on his cat. It didn't kill his cat, even though cats only live be like 15 years old. It's like, how long do you want to live as a human being that you want to spray pesticide all over your body and you're willing to die? You know, don't let the bedbug kill you, man. There's better options out there. So I used to strip down after going to the movies and throw everything in the tub. Seems that they can climb the porcelain. They can climb the porcelain. They can. So I had all right, that video. So if you go, just show you again. I'll show you the house because it's on my channel. So if you go back to my channel here and you go down bed bugs, all right, I searched bed bug and it is, let's see. Man, I got a lot of bedbug videos. Dude, there's a lot. Man, it's a lot. That's a lot of videos. Well, let's just search this then. Let's close this. That's the video we were on. Let's go all the way up here and let's search for bedbug treatment. Man, that's a lot too. There we go. The most extensive bedbug treatment on YouTube. All right, this video right here. Let's mute that. And let's scroll in. Let's see. What was the question? It was, can't climb. Oh, I don't have his bathroom in here. Well, all right. So this room right here. This is a room with the mattress that I just treated. This has a futon in it that was infested with bed bugs. Over in here, there's a master bedroom right here that you go in. You get like this is a kitchen, and this is a master bedroom in here. And that master bedroom is a bathroom right over on the other side of this wall. In that tub, the bed bugs were living all around the tub, all up around the top of the tub. They absolutely can climb porcelain. Now, they're not supposed to be able to climb slick surfaces, but like this jar right here, now it's textured on the outside for like jams and jellies and stuff people put in it, but on the inside, it's smooth. It's all smooth on the inside. Like on the inside, it's smooth. So if you see these, let me show you some of these bugs. These are some bugs. This is some good ones. These are all clustered together right here, like they like to do. Just so you can see what they look like. Let me see how to get my thumb. Will it focus? Focus. It's not gonna focus. Well, anyway, there's some right there. But yeah, they can climb slick surfaces, glass. In fact, they're really good at it. They can't hang on. They can't grip and hold on. That's why interceptors on bed legs don't work, because they can climb up an interceptor. They don't work. You didn't hurt my feelings. I work in the industry and I decided to try it. Let's see, what is the best product you would recommend to kill fleas? Alpine WSG works the best for fleas. That's what I use. And it's labeled to use on sofas and everything. Crossfire definitely works. You have to follow the instructions. Alright, I'm going to have to do this. Okay. Just throw the sofa out if you have lots of pillows on it like we did, because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. The problem with bed bugs and sofas is that the sofa has big hollow areas. So, and I think I did a drawing with Jason on here one time where I showed people where they hide inside the sofa. But because the sofa's boxes, so like you have a box. Let's do a drawing with Jason. It's easier to explain it. It's just easier for me. It's just easier. And it's funny. Yeah, I think it's funny. I laugh. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a drawing with Jason. And you can watch now. You can watch the drawing with Jason because I draw up here. And you can see it because I got this new thing where I got a monitor here and a monitor here and I got a monitor up there. So I do my drawing with Jason on my top monitor. So, let's see. Can I get my mouse? There we go. There it is. All right, couldn't see it. All right, let's do undo. All right. So let's do a square. Let's show you here. Size. Let's do big size. All right. All right. So you got your back of the couch, and then you got your arm of the couch right here, and arm of the couch right here, and then the butt spot right here. All right. There you go. All right. So the problem with the couch is, and let's see, you got your cushions separate like right here and right here. Man, that's bad. Let's see if I can get that wide too. That needs to be wide too. All right, there and there. All right, so that is the best I can do. That's a beautiful picture. It's wonderful. It's going to be on the museum. You just wait. It's going to be. I'll sign it and I'll send it to somebody, and I'll be famous one day and it'll be worth a lot of money. All right. So anyway, the bed bugs hide here and here is the most common place. Now these are real weird, uneven. This is for like a short person sits right here and a tall person sits here because the arm's up real high. But anyway, the bed bugs will live in this crack where this part of the back of the couch meets up with that armrest. And if you've got these little decorations like these things on the front of your sofa, a lot of times they'll be like around these little things. They'll be like inside those. But when you flip it upside down, and you're looking at the underside. So let's say you got the underside like this. And you open it up. You'll have a box. So it'll be like this inside it. Alright, let's do this. So we're imagining it's 3D and we're looking inside the couch. Alright. So this is inside. This is like the back of the couch. Let's see the back. Oh, whoa. My mouse decided to go idiot on me. Back. Alright, and this is front. Okay, so this is inside the couch. You've pulled that piece of felt off the bottom off, and you're looking in. Alright, so then you have a box here that goes up like this part. This part right here is the back of the couch. So, well, that's the front. So I got them messed up. So let's pretend this is the back and this is the front. All right, anyway, you got the arm that's also hollow that goes up in here. And let's say you got a bunch of let's say this part actually pulls out. So you could lay your leg like a hassock, like a built-in hassock on this side and this side. Well, then you've got all those mechanical workings like here and all this stuff. The problem is everything where there is a crack and a crevice that's inside here is a place that bed bugs can hide. All right? That's the problem. And so the reason a lot of people will throw away their couch is because you just can't get to all those places. But the thing is you don't have to. You try to get to as much as you can, but if you use Crossfire, you don't have to because the bed bugs are going to come here and here and here and here and here and all over the front of the couch because you are sitting your butt right there. And they can't get a blood meal from in here. They have to come out. So if you treat this area with Crossfire, and you treat this area, and this area, and this area, and all the areas you can see visually, and inside the couch and all, and in the seams, and everywhere they're hiding, visually you've treated these spots. Alright? The bed bugs are eventually going to crawl out of the couch to get to you and bite you and die. A lot of people would rather just throw away the couch and not worry with it, though. Just don't buy a used couch. If you're going to buy a replacement couch, don't buy a used couch. So, how do you handle bats? Well, if they're flying around inside the house, I throw a sheet over it, take it outside, and release it. Yeah, that's usually what I do. More roach videos. I could do some roach videos. I got a roach video I think I just did. Last week, I think. Let me see. Let's see. Don't save. Let's see here. I think I just did one. Yeah, I did. It just released Tuesday. If you go to here and you go to this video right here, this one, this is gross people cause bed bugs and cockroaches, and it goes over the. That's not true. It's actually not true. This is what you call in this industry. This is called clickbait. Why do gross people have bugs? This is called clickbait. Oh, I got a call. Let's see who this is. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Can I help you?
Yeah, Mr. Akers, this is Patrick from Chicago.
Yes.
And I sent you a text message.
Yes, you did. You just tried to call my phone. I sent you the voicemail because I'm on here.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I looked at the screen. I'm really sorry. All I want to say is that with all the information that you're giving here, that before I found you and a few other people who were talking about Crossfire, and this problem became, evident with me in my new old house, which is from 1880, with lots of cracks and crevices and lots of crown molding and paint and all sorts of places that could be harborage.
Right.
So what I first did was, when I realized the problem, I had an older bed frame and a box spring that I could sacrifice, right? So
Okay.
I knew that, they're biting me and they're going into there. And, I had just gotten like I was starting to get a little rash on my arms and at my lower back where I could scratch at. And so so like I did, like many people do, which is a big mistake, is they try to use an for lack of a better term, an over-the-counter remedy. They go to Home Depot, they go to Lowe's,
Well, yeah,
or whatever.
because it's convenient.
And they get the pyrethins or whatever, and
Right.
and then when I got the new bed, I got the bed interceptors, but my new bed's got 9 legs on it, right?
Right.
So
I remember you told me
the
that.
interceptors, and then it holds the mattress up. So I got rid of the bed skirting and everything because I'm trying to do everything that I could do to mitigate the issue while I was trying to control it. And so I did buy a steamer. I bought it secondhand on Facebook Marketplace. I got it for $40. And when I did a very heavy cleaning, I didn't have this issue very long. I had a sofa in a back room, and after listening to some of the advice I heard is, this sofa I have in the back room probably isn't infested because nobody's using it. If there's nothing there for them to eat, they're just not hanging out in the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I brought that one into the front room after I had cleaned, and then I had treated, and I have a bamboo mattress that I didn't really want to get rid of, but I steam cleaned everything really well, and then I vacuumed after, and then after I had done the initial treatment with the over-the-counter stuff, I wasn't really having such great success. And I noticed, I did a deep clean again, and I don't really even think that amount of prep that I did with the steaming and everything would be necessary if I really had found out what Crossfire was in the beginning.
Right.
Because what I did is I have a 1,100 square foot house.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
one 13-ounce portion of the Crossfire and a $10 sprayer. Honest to God, I spent half as much on that as I did on my initial attempt with over-the-counter stuff. Because
Right.
all in, it was $50 because water's free.
Right.
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 So, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it. And that stuff, when you really look at the concentrations of that stuff that they're selling to you, those are incredibly diluted because of OSHA and FDA and stuff like
Well, yeah,
that. They
there's
can't,
a lot of
like
rules.
you as a licensed exterminator get access to different stuff than the people who like. So I wanted to say, so what I really did is I really followed your instructions on, okay, where are they hiding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after I had even steamed the new couch and, I had the new bed frame and set up, when I went through the initial treatment with the Crossfire in my house, I wore a mask, I wore my safety glasses, I wore rubber gloves, I took, the precautions that you would need for this because it wasn't something that required like, class 2 air or motorized respirator and everything.
Right.
And I did pretty much every inch and every corner and every part of the crown molding, everywhere in the house, with exception of the bathroom and the kitchen.
Okay.
Right? And so then, I think I spoke to you about a week afterwards, and I would probably say that my knockdown to bite in the first 14 days was 75%.
That's pretty good.
Right? So if I was getting bitten 4 times, like maybe I was getting bitten once.
Right.
Right? Then it got to the point because, as you mentioned earlier, you were talking about a gentleman who works from home. And, a lot of times he Zooms from his bed and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Well, I'm kind of guilty of that too. So I would Zoom pretty much more from my couch than my bed. So I was on the bed, on the couch floor. So I was getting my bites on the bed, and I actually on the couch, and that's actually where I first found them. Right? Was on the couch, not in the bedroom. That's why I just got rid of that couch, and then when I went to the bedroom, then I did the deep clean and everything. But I would have to say that. So I found them, I would say like around around Halloween. I treated with Crossfire after missing the mark the first time, probably around the 1st of December, right? I didn't get any more bites probably by the 2nd week of December. I was bite free. And to the point where they would bite me and I would scratch and I would actually bleed, Jason.
Yes.
Right? Because I got really sensitive skin. Those started to heal over. And this is the question I was going to ask you. Do they like to go back and re-bite the same location?
I think it's just what they can get to.
The
thing is so typically what bed bugs do when they bite is they're looking for an area that they can bite. So if you're laying in the bed and you're covered up in clothing and everything, and then your arm might be out, or you're covered in sheets or whatever, and your arm's out and it's exposed, they're going to bite your arm. Most people typically sleep the same every night. They might, I know I'm notorious for putting my arm under my pillow, and then that's just how I sleep.
I sleep on my left side with my right arm. Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, and so the bed bugs will go under your pillow and they'll bite your arm just because it's there. It's easy to get to.
Because that's right there. Okay, so Jason, I wanted to say that, so once I understood, and I had asked you a question because after I had sprayed it, I sent you a message probably within a week because I was worried about my cleaning lady mopping too close to the floorboards and washing the residual away.
Right.
Do you remember that message?
Yeah, that's common.
And but when you explained how the transference works, right, and it was right at that time that the bites started to drop, and I had someone quote me, and this is in Chicago, and I sent you that article about this is bed bug capital of the country right now. You got that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so right now, the price for an average heat treatment in Chicago is $2,200.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I've never met you, right? We've talked via text and this is the first phone call we ever had. I don't know you or anything. All I did was follow your information and other information that I found and collaborated what I found, right?
Right.
And I found this to be the most effective remediation for a problem I had that was a new problem. It wasn't a deep infestation. I didn't have it in my books. I don't have lots of clutter, you know, but what I did do is I removed my bed skirt. Like my girlfriend had put curtains on the wall behind the bed. You know, I made sure we had that clearance because I did everything to do to keep them out so I could know where they were, so I knew how they would get there. And I actually think that if I had used the interceptors or something like that longer, right, like they would have just found another way in and they wouldn't have reached the crossfire.
Yeah, that's what they did.
They wouldn't have reached, like, so instead of like, so like that's what I was thinking, like, you know what, if they're in the floor, I said, honey, if they're like right there in the door jamb, then let them get to the bed because the whole frame was treated with crossfire. And by the time they got to the mattress, even if they got one meal out of me, they were dead.
Exactly. Well, that's what a lot of people won't make their bed. They'll sleep on a bare mattress. I'm like, you don't have to do that. You can make your bed like you normally would.
No.
Sleep on your sheets, sleep on your covers, be comfortable. They got to climb over the bed legs, the bed frame, the headboard, the footboard, all these different places. And where are they going to go to hide when they're done eating? They've got to go back down.
Jason, I got to tell you something, right? Yeah. Like my real business is like I work in like TV, movies, and rock and roll, right?
Okay.
And I was on tour with Taylor Swift for 9 months, staying in hotels, right?
Cool.
I never got bed bugs, right? Until I came back to Chicago, settled into my 140-year-old house, and then I got, you know what I mean? I don't know if they were here. I suspect that the person who was living in the house before may have not been the cleanest individual.
Right.
And, you know, they could have hung out for a couple of months because they can kind of stay in stasis, I've read.
Yeah, for up to
18 months. Where they kind of like, you know, if there's nothing, it's like, you know, when in Chicago, we're also the rat capital of the world. Did you know that too? Oh. Jason, I got to tell you something, right?
Well, you guys really know how to have a cookout, too.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I was in a cookout in a friend of mine's backyard, and there was rats, and they had to weigh 12 to 14 pounds running between the yards. 12 to 14-pound rats. That's an average Chicago rat is like 6 pounds, and we are the most rat-infested city in the nation right now. And now we have the bed bug thing.
Yeah, and they're everywhere, too. The bed bugs are everywhere.
It's what happens when you live north of the Mason-Dixon line, Jason.
Well, you can't shoot bed bugs. You can try.
No, but I've got to tell you something. Yeah. Well, you can't even shoot a rat with an air pistol in Chicago. So, and actually, you know, they're pretty much immune to everything too. You know, and that was the other thing is I think that, like, you know, I used to live in Hawaii, Jason, when I was in the service, and they would do that tenting of the houses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they sprayed Dursban like an old woman smells perfume.
Oh yeah, I used
like
to do
they sprayed
thing.
that thing.
That's what I used everywhere.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, and before
had,
like I was
back
on
20, 30 years ago. Yeah, that's all we really had.
Right. And so back then was before I had like a semi truck. I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a link, Jason, in a message.
Yeah.
But I have a semi truck that's a kitchen, right?
Okay.
It's a full, like you would never know what it is, right? And so it goes on tour. It follows people from city to city, and then we set up for like the crew and stuff like that. So if we're if we're like at Nashville, we'd set up in the Titans Arena. They have rooms that we can, you know, set up in, right? But before that, I had brick and mortar restaurants, right? Which are, you know, a notorious hard thing. Roaches. Well, here's the thing. You ever see a restaurant with happy staff that's dirty? No, right? You only see a dirty restaurant with a guy who's always got a new cook.
Right.
Right? So I had a great staff. I've had this guy, he's worked for me 21 years off and on, right? Like he was a pro from Dover. There was a produce mart next door to me, right? And this is, you want to talk about an extermination nightmare. So this produce mart, the guy that had the place and the guy that was the landlord, they got into a fight. It was like October. So the guy just says, you know what, I'm not going to, you know what, I walk out on November 1st because it's not like it's bolts and engines. Like it's produce. It's all going bad in 5 days, right?
Right.
Well, he just walked out. It took me 6 months to get the city to open the place back up. By that time, it was March, Jason. Right?
Right.
So they went in there to clean the place out. Well, now we have a shared wall. I don't need to really explain anymore, do I? I mean, can you imagine the problems I had?
It sounds like fun. Yeah, I like those jobs. I like the worse the job, the better. I find those are the most fun
Jason,
for me.
I had gotten back from Iraq like maybe 7, 8 years before that, right?
Right.
I just sat down with a pistol with a red dot with an air gun, and I think I got like 6, but one died in the wall. Here's a question for you. I don't have this problem now, but let's say you treat a vector like a possum or a rat, something that's got like some body mass, right? Yeah. And it decides to take sorry, I didn't mean to swear. When it takes its final breath, it's somewhere in the wall, and then you don't know where it is in the wall.
Okay, so that's
I actually
where
breaking.
Now, when you're dealing with rodents and you're using so rodenticide is how I kill rats, rat poison, mouse poison, rat poison. So now with possums, you have to trap them. Yes.
Right.
And so the bait that I use a very specific rodenticide. It's different than most other rodenticides in that what it does is it will dry up the body so that when it finally kicks the bucket,
it's like self-desiccating.
Yeah, it doesn't stink. And so if it dies in the wall,
it's removing. So as it's curing, as the body is exposed, it's self-drying.
Exactly. So you don't get an odor.
Right.
Now rats sometimes smell
Jason,
for a day or two.
Okay, so Jason, this is my second pre-fire Chicago house that I've owned in Chicago, right? And I kind of got this thing for old bungalows, right? And I restore them to like what they were, And so I had this other one. It was much farther out west of the city, and I had a squirrel issue, right, in my attic. And this is when you talk to a customer, you can tell this. So I set a squirrel trap, right? Like a cage trap, not a lethal trap, but a humane trap, right?
Right.
Set it in my attic. I'm telling you, I drove down the street 1 mile. I let that squirrel go, and he was back in 2 days.
Right. Yeah, that's normal. You have to take them like 25 miles.
They come back. You
have to take them at least 25 miles away, or they'll come back.
Yeah. Do you really have to take them that far away?
Yeah.
Yep. I'll send you this other picture too, James. So like where I live right along the Chicago River, right? Which is, it's a major waterway. You really don't think about it, but it's actually like they float barges and shit down this, right? And this is about it's about 3/4 of a mile from my house. We have deer, right?
Right.
We actually have deer because this waterway intersects all these state parks and everything that have been set up for 55, 75 years.
Yeah, well, anytime you have a waterway, you'll have all kinds of crazy animals, deer, raccoons, skunks, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I actually go I do because I live so close to lakefront. I actually do urban camping, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go down by the river and I'll set up and, I'll go out kind of late, I'll be real safe about it because, being military, I kind of how to know this. I kind of like it because when you live in a concrete jungle, you just don't really get to do it,
Right.
And I can go a mile from my house and I can find a spot on the river that's, safe, and it's the deer. I mean, you can't believe the amount of deer that we have in my neighborhood. Like, you'll catch them like walking down the street in Chicago, deer. Because they've had so much development now along the river, where like these used to be old factories that were just these big concrete boxes. They've torn them all down. They've built 200 townhomes at a time, 300 townhomes at a time.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So all these areas have been so greatly impacted that it's really squeezing the wildlife out. Like,
Well, Patrick,
one of the reasons that
I'm actually gonna have to hang up because I'm
okay,
running
go ahead,
really
brother.
late.
I'll
I'm
talk to
running-
you later.
That's
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
No.
All right, everybody. It's getting late. I know that call went on for a little while, but I haven't had a whole lot. I've tried to answer people's questions throughout the chat as I was talking to him. But I just wanted to let everybody know that normally I let these things go about an hour, and I've been on for almost 2. It's been an hour and 52 minutes. And so I've got to get to bed because I've got to work two route days tomorrow. And I'm not looking forward to it. It's like 25 stops I got to get done tomorrow. So I've actually got to get to bed so I can get some sleep tonight. But don't forget, Tuesdays, I usually have a video go live every Tuesday morning. And then on Thursday nights, I do my live stream after 9 o'clock. So you guys have a really great night. I really appreciate it. And subscribe, like, share, all the good stuff. Be sure to like the video. We got 23 people in here right now. Send me some likes. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. I read every single comment on every single one of my videos. So y'all have a real great night. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Thanks.